still be friends.
Now it's different from when I started. I was asked to come out for a day in September to have a listen to rehearsals, and I haven't really left. I don't have an official role. I guess I come in to give my opinion on mixes, you know, how it sounds, because the room is very difficult to navigate with sound, because the sound system is very unique, and to make it sound good is very tough. And Joe has done incredible work, as he always does. But you know, there's all hands on deck, and I guess I was invited in not knowing how anything works, just to give an opinion. Yeah. So I did that, and then when I started giving opinions, I had to come up with solutions for those, which I offered, and then I ended up staying. So underneath this floor here, there is a studio that I'd set up. There's a number of studios, and I went in there and I just started doing things. So I started remixing the intro music, and then just interstitial things, and then I started suggesting other things, and then, you know, there's some keyboards going on, guitar tones, and then my role kind of expanded, and then we started working on the acoustic part, and I got involved in the arrangements of things. But yeah, so my role is kind of changing. I did that.
Is that you?
That's me. And I asked to turn it down. So that was what I did on the first day. I did that sound on the first day with U2 in 2003, Converted them. People want to know what it's like working at U2. And the thing that's most remarkable is the egoless interaction within the group and within the people working with it. And it's just about ideas. What's a good idea? What's a bad idea? And I think with the younger bands, they're too invested in their idea. You know, their ego is. So if you dismiss the idea, it's painful for them. I realized early that you can't go at an idea with wholeheartedly, but if it's not connecting, you just got to drop it and just not invest any of your self-worth or, you know, esteem in an idea. So I really enjoy working with them. The challenges are great. There's one that I'm really excited about, just because it's the latest thing. Coming out of the end of Love is Blindness, the end of that section wasn't working so well. That part of the show kind of tapered away, and then people didn't know how to respond because they just walked off the stage. So we did this ridiculous thing where I took the intro to Elvis's Hawaii satellite special and I turned it into something else. Bum, 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 bum. And turned it into his version of Viva Las Vegas. And then morphed this together with the intro of a remix to Elevation. It's like 5 minutes of ridiculousness. Horns, I recorded the horns a few weeks ago for that. Just to get the timing right and all that was really tough. And so I heard the other day and it made me giddy. I come up here to check if it sounds good. So this becomes like a recording studio, which is very strange. You know, if I'm working on a mix downstairs and then I take it up here, it's kind of an extraordinary experience to go from small speakers or working on my headphones to hearing here on 190,000 speakers, whatever there are. So you have to mix especially for the building. I like to be involved with things that are slightly scary for me to do because of the challenge. I'm out of my depth, so I really enjoy working with them. They bring out the best in me. I'm always presented with a challenge that seems ridiculous. You got to come up with a solution for it, which is really, it's like a game. So I get a thrill from that. So there's a bit in the show where there is a flag and a flame comes out, and you can kind of hear that noise. Everyone knows the noise of a burst of flame. So I used to feel hot when it happened. Now I recognize it. The first time I saw it, I thought they put on some heat or something. So I think that sensory complex feeling is happening where you're hearing things, seeing things, and you don't quite know what's going on. Obviously now we're using haptics in the seats for the first time. So you're also feeling the sound. Each seat is a speaker. So we just introduced that about 3 weeks ago. So I was working on that. The sound has been complicated, but it sounds unlike a regular show. And I know that there's science behind it, why it sounds the way it does. I think it's that it's not coming out in sound waves, it's coming out like a flashlight or lasers. So to make it sound like a cohesive thing is very tough. People are not used to hearing the clarity and the detail. So that's also mirrored by the high definition visuals. So if we didn't have the audio also working in such a detailed way, the visuals wouldn't work. They're both working in tandem. If it was just this big bombastic thing and you had no detail, you wouldn't hear the band speaking to each other. You know, there's a little bit of, like, I think we had done The Sweetest Thing. Terror is a good motivator or, you know, motor. And Bono was playing the piano, and you could see afterwards he was kind of thrilled with himself. I did it and I didn't screw up. But in this big room, everyone's talking about the screen being amazing. But what was amazing about that show is that you could hear him say to Edge, "Did I do okay?" And Edge was going, "Yeah, you're good, don't worry." But you could see it as well. Yeah. And it's not just, so to making it an intimate thing and also grandiose, that's been what the great achievement of this building has been, and the show. And it's the only reason why it works. If it was just a spectacle, I don't think it would be U2. U2 is about connection.
Sweetest thing. Oh, sweetest
People that know that it sounds great, and people that don't know anything about sound just enjoy the experience. I can't imagine another venue that would work in. Zoo TV was the analog experience, and this is the digital version of it. You know, I think Zoo TV, we're still living in the echoes of that. Like, no matter what show you see. I went to see Taylor Swift a few weeks ago, and that is a child of Zoo TV, which would not exist. Same with the Beyonce shows and all that. The lessons or the solutions that had been discovered on Zoo TV we're still using. This is the next level. You two are an amazing mix of kind of visceral feeling, high emotion, and art and science. They are this great clash of that, you know. They know how to put on a big show, and I think they all came together knowing that this was a crazy opportunity.
Hi, I'm Smasher Dismat. I'm the video director and also the technical director for the video. This is all so new, it's never been done before, and just the amount of pixels that we're driving now, 16,000 by 16,000 pixels, is just absolutely insane and challenging at the same time.
Ready for the shuffle.
Mattis, my son, he's programming most of the visuals and with the team around him here.
So I program the visuals in and make them run at the exact moment they have to run. I mean, it's the first job we're doing together. It's actually been really nice. I think he trusts me and vice versa, no? Running the show.
We'll see tomorrow night. Flew all around the world and visited me for all the tours. In fact, his first gig was in Los Angeles, where he was 3 years old, and as the band started, he fell asleep on a flight case. But now he's in the hot seat. I used to program all the visuals, do like all the notch effects here, and call the cameras. I did it all, but not anymore. I need to. It was too much for me. So that's why I cloned myself. I could have shot this with 20 broadcast cameras, but I wanted to step it up a bit, so I'm using cinematic cameras on this, Venice 2 cameras. I thought, I'd rather have less cameras and beautiful pictures than 20 cameras with looking at like a hockey game. The first tour I worked on was Zoo TV in 1992. The whole Zoo TV back then was like a new, oh my god, we've never seen this. There was no roof on the stage, so that was quite advanced. We had a video wall made out of multiple projectors. So I had a little lab on stage behind Larry's drum set, and I was just constantly soldering stuff and maintaining that beast, because there was like 211 projectors I had on tour with me, and just as a 22-year-old, it's quite fascinating to be part of that, seeing U2 in '85 in my hometown in Torhood, and then all of a sudden 7 years later, you're part of that whole family. It's quite surreal. The connection, is obviously as the music, the songs itself that are strongly connected to that time. It wasn't like, oh, we should be doing the same what we did back then. I think it's a very refreshing show. It's just completely different and far more advanced of what we did back then. We have a 1.5 peta data server here, storage. It's just insane, and that's never been done before. Like, it's just to keep it all in sync and stuff.
It's been really interesting watching him video direct. He's very much stricter than I thought he would be. As you said, I basically grew up with this, and it's fun having those memories and seeing everyone walking around here that I was saying, like, I saw you when you were a little boy, and now you're part of this. Because I get a feeling a lot of people don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and I've been lucky to see it from a very young age.
I thought I was retired. They called me back, and but I'm like, okay, for that I can't let that slip away.